Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to KritzKast. We're continuing ETF2L Highlander action tonight, and it is continuation of week 3. It's going to be Twice versus Feila, and this week 3 map is PL Vigil. You know, unlike some of the other payload maps, I think Vigil is a very, very nice map for Scout, and it's a map that BB has had a lot of success on in the past as well.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This has got to be about the most Polish any Feila roster has ever been, right? Come to think of it.
Possibly, yeah. And that's with 2 other semi-Polish teams in the Prem as well, so a lot of Polish influence.
I mean, like, competing with Envision on being as much of a Polish team at this point. Those guys have diversified a lot these days. So
Yeah,
we'll
but
see
either
how
way-
it goes.
Either way, week 3 now, Feila against Twice. Feila are going to be the team starting off in the blue, setting the offense, setting the time, setting the pace, and Twice obviously defending to start with. It's Vigil. We're not used to seeing too much of a defense coming up on this first point. Feila, in past seasons, tried it a little bit, but most of the top teams now are setting up kind of passive on first, trying to buy just a minute or so and making sure they have a good hold for second.
Yeah, it's rare to see a proper cringe hold these days forward on the defender's left side there with the little corner. I've seen a cringe hold the other day in open, and it about went as you would expect. It's just hard for the medic to leave. It's a big risk to take. If you're really down bad on a timer, maybe you could dare take the risk, but oftentimes it's just not worth it. So what we're seeing is the traditional hold far back, gun not even covering tracks. I guess this is the one debate people have on Engineer on this map, right? Where do you actually put the gun? As the further back it goes, the better is denying the bomb behind you, of course. That you expected this level of play to some capacity. Leaves tracks to be a little bit more on the mercy of your DM classes to cover, and they need to still get out of your safety as well. But for now, it's just all Scrimmers' territory.
Yeah, big bomb coming in from Honcho. He's actually going to get Buko. Nice pick onto that sniper. So that sight line is much freer for everyone to peek, and you can see Joe immediately peeking forward. And in fact, everyone from Twice is fully backed up to second. They're not even putting any pressure on Car at the moment. So, well, apart from Caper running in and feeding a little bit.
Yeah, if you do a sniper down, like I said, you don't want to have Scrimmers reign supreme when there's a soldier bomb just killing the sniper early. Roll-up misses a bit of a stab opportunity, and not too big a deal. They haven't pushed up to the point just yet until now. So as long as you can set up another play, as this is happening now, as the rest of the team comes forward here, that's good enough. A bit of spam, catches them by surprise, nothing too crazy just yet. You want to stab Rambo with some interesting gun position here. You don't see that too often. You see if Roll-up knows how to get in on this while the scout's also lurking about it. They're looking behind, and he's just sneaking right by to the fence there as the push comes in. This is Pat's off to do it here. Push comes forward, they find the gun pretty quickly, get Caper's work, Kusuki going down. A couple of kills still running, Delt on low ground with the beam, trying to just blast him away. Without a demo man, however, that's a really important one right now. Maybe this is hindering Feila's chances a little bit here, but for now, even without the high ground, they want to get more cap out of this. Just no good rotation for so long at all this. And they just can't really take good position, but the kills are not bad for them.
Yeah, nice couple of decent cleanup kills there. Roll up, finding Delt, I think it was. And now with Delt, pretty long spawn. They're trying to pressure in through this slope area, but the snipe from Buko taking Joe down. It's allowing Kazuki to jump forward, not having to worry about spam coming into his face, and actually Feila had to be cowed a little bit, backing up towards tunnel. They've got a sentry gun, they've got a dispenser set up all in there, but at the moment they're struggling to get much pressure on top or any real cap time.
Yeah, that's a struggle, right? A lot of teams I've seen this past few seasons we had this map just try to push from tracks into the cart, and you get a good angle like you see right here, but it's so hard sometimes to actually get the high ground from here. You gotta be really committed to make that happen, and this gun is living so long. And the medic awkward and jungle can sneak away, just about able to lift that Casper. But can they do anything from here? Once again, no high ground to the side of Feila. They're just sitting on cart, and that's working for what it's worth. But they gotta survive this as well, and Layla is really fortunate they capped that point, because she can just disappear into the now open spawn door on there and covered by the gun as well. And as much as everyone died, it did what it had to, but not anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they all died on the cart, but now they're spawning right in the forward spawn right next to it anyway, so it hasn't slowed them down too much, those deaths. Very, very nice play, actually. It was just a crucial airblast by Nebu, disconnected that medic, and it meant the Red Uber got absolutely nothing done during that exchange, and it was allowed the rest of the combo to just walk on the cart, cap it, and despite them losing that fight at the end of the day, they got the cap, and that was what was important.
Alright, Battalion's ready on Kusuki. They want something on the defense that isn't the Uber to help them out here a little bit, and Feila with the classic push up there trying to get some space. Not allowed to take any of this with the damage rush doing overtime. However, damage rush does not stop a backstab. We will learn that the hard way. Will go down here. That's about the only thing going right. Sammy pick late is pretty nice. Like you said earlier as well, after that point you have fast spawns way forward on the map. They're quick back into the fight, and that's still a bit of time they can use here while Sniper and DuMmTm are down to make some headway, and they're going quick on this one. Demo pushed in very early with the Uber. Del just received the Uber on there, and as well with Odin popping up to the fight as well now after the Uber's turned off, and suddenly there's just so much red pressure towards the cart, and they cannot get this thing up the slope.
Oh, Sammy's just crushing everyone on cart. There's just 2 players alive for Feila. It is Layla and Scrimmers. So 2 of the classes you want to survive. It means, you know, Layla's been a little bit disconnected, not building optimally, but not going to be too much of an Uber disadvantage. But such a crushing counter Uber coming in from Sammy, just destroying everyone on the cart there.
Alright, how do they work their way past this one? So often do you see just people crumble because they just don't watch the card diligently enough and let them get easy card time, but it doesn't look like that's a trouble for Twice at all so far. They're very much forward enough to stop this. As risky as it can be, you kind of have to do it. You can't just sit back at this point. It makes it so easy to do what they did on second, right? Just sit on card, not really engage with the fight too much.
Big bomb from Honjo, picks up, that was Sammy and Casper he got with a nice 2-4. Those are the big classes you want from that bomb. Wasn't really defended by either the Sentry or the Pyro in time. So much value out of that bomb, and the rest of the players could just walk it after and take their point for free, and now they're going to have a big advantage as well.
Alright, well, it's not a great time to fall, but you can still make this work into last and get something reasonable out of this one. It's up 6, maybe a low 6, very much still in the cards. If this works out with this next fight or so for the side of Feila eSports, gonna make sure this Uber is getting good value, gonna make sure you're not getting surprised with the pick loss on the way. Edge lurking behind, Sniper waiting in the wings somewhere forward as well. But they're faster than Evo though. They're not faster than the sticky trap though. Sammy sniped the Pyro down with the trap there. Could be costly already here. Spy still gets Scrimmers as well. Speaking of Sniper, it is a good few kills they're getting here, but Sammy does not want to take this space really badly.
Yeah, they're not really focusing very much forward in the Uber, but they have got a lot of kills now. Kazuki, Doubt, Sammy, Odin, Buko, and Hedge all down for the defense, so Joe's able to just walk on the cart. There's only a Pyro in his face, but he's going to find enough damage, enough denial, and oh, it's really, really close. There we go. They will cap the cart and end up with a pretty decent time overall.
Yeah, this wasn't a pretty second, but this was really good otherwise, right? Third was made awkward as well, but they managed pretty alright with what they were given. In the end there, with just a really nice bomb by Honjo, and suddenly that is in it. They had an advantage finally to keep playing with, and once you have those, you gotta keep them going, right? You can't just have every single point just come down to your next reset to Uber situation, otherwise this will just take forever. You gotta make sure that whatever works out once, you just gotta take this to the bank, to do its fullest. That Uber went in nicely, didn't initially look insane, but they just could keep going and going and going with it. And if you have the better spawns, you really make them feel that, and then it's just a clean sweep from there.
Yeah, it's always a tough decision whether you focus down key classes, key targets that kind of kite away from your Uber, or whether you just want to play kind of positional. And they were definitely focusing the frags there. You could see BB Joe were almost chasing people backwards behind, making sure that flank couldn't come in at the tail end and clean them up. And it ended up working. They just got so many frags. It's risky when you play that kind of style, but if you do get those kills, at the end of the day, there just weren't enough classes on the Twice side to defend it.
We'll see. They're now tasked to beat a sub-6. A reasonable time, right? That's a fast average, I suppose, for this map. Beatable, but you gotta still do well. This does not come for free. Let's see if they can put in the effort where it needs to be. A BB going down, not the end of the world, but certainly doesn't help if you want to spy trap, if you want to watch your flank where you need to, but with the spy down already, that's at least one thought of their mind. We'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, Sammy and Kazuki actually have a load of space. Sammy getting hit quite low is actually going to get picked up by Joe, so that's going to give the opportunity for the defense to put a bit more defense. Kazuki also going down, but they've got decent cap time, they've got what they would have wanted, and it looks like Feila are just going to settle and move back into second.
Okay, minor visual glitch I had. The gun was just in the skies for some reason. I don't know. Looked funny. I don't think it would cover anything. It was too high to shoot out on anyone, but it doesn't matter. That's not what it actually is. It's now back safely on second where you want to be on Feila to defend the second point a little bit longer here. This is why you need good value, right? Last is really good, but so is second. This point's gotta let you get some good time. What can the blue scout show us? that they have in store for this. I mean, Feila had the same approach from low all the time. They're just going up on high ground.
Yeah, fairly standard hold, fairly standard sentry gun, fairly standard Uber exchange coming out, but Odin's in a nice position with the Brass Beast here to come in at the tail end of it. There's Joe pick is pretty big for Twice. Sammy, though, is traded out. Odin's still nice and healthy. Oh, he was. He got instantly melted down, and oh my god, Casper goes down as well.
Yeah, Schmidt in just a little corner. It's so hard to see sometimes, though. Think about like watch the heavy in the corners, like below the ledge, barely visible, but still has full range to just shoot up there and just mows down the medic really nicely there at the end of it all. And suddenly, this is looking pretty good for Feila here. They're getting massive value on the second hold, as you would like to see from their perspective. Twice tasked to figure something out here right now. How are they going to do this? You could just wait Uber, of course, but you got to set some pressure going early to make this waiting time be worth it. And attempt to peek forward, not going to go too well for the most of them, but a lot of projectiles are sneaking past the Pyro, getting to the demo man, and this is maybe just go time for them.
Yeah, they've got the pick onto Joe again, but the flank has been kind of cleaned up by the Feila side. The Feila side still holding nice and strong in the dispenser. Uber does come out mostly onto Nebu. Is actually it's going to get launched in the air. BB wants to chase forward, but everyone's a bit low on Feila, and Casper has done a good job kiting and keeping hold of that Uber. So it's going to be an advantage for Twice, but they're going to need to make the most of it because the clock's already ticking.
Sam with the high bomb lands behind the gun, takes that thing down, looking for the air shot as well. Doesn't quite find anything, but everyone else just gets in with that as well. Anzu still goes down courtesy of the soldier, and they got this all covered. That high bomb opening things up just nicely. Late energy def is huge on this map as well. We've seen how much Hondra can do despite the gun being up. Now they have a chance to bomb in without the gun being up, and they don't even have to do it the hard way here. They have to as well. They could just go in with this thing and have the card just follow up afterwards.
Yeah, kind of awkward in that they do have this super advantage. It's not going to last forever, though, and the car is still an awfully long time back, so it's a kind of stick or twist moment. Do they want to go in when they still have the ad? It's getting closer and closer. Layla up to 85% as the Uber is popped out. It's mostly onto Sammy. He's actually taking the chunk of the Uber. He hasn't got too much to shoot. It's decently kited by Feila, wanting to get the Uber, and now it comes out. It's Nebu chasing forward. Joe is absolutely destroying people towards the car. Odin is going to get cleaned up, and so many down for mainly the Twice side. A couple of casualties on Feila as well, but the cleanup crew has been in action, and they've done a good job there.
A solid Uber for the time being. 2 minutes left. There's still some time to spare for Twice, but it's a good start for Feila at least to get this on the road here. Energy will spawn before they can do much about it, but still not set up correctly, of course. We have a chance to just peek in a little bit. Soldier comes Steve Sammy peeking as well for as much as they can. They want to swing up the slope. No one wants to really body this, and it looks like for now they're getting rewarded for their decision, but it's really close on the card. That's just about getting all of these kills. Twice thought they could get away with this time around, but Feila's spam on card just really, really strong. You gotta be very careful when you just shoot from the back and when you actually go body block on this point, because it is just game over the seconds up the slope. More or less, there's like no distance at all to cover that point, and you can just hide behind the card. So barely working out with the early Uber this time around, though. Everyone's a little hit there. Already lost the heavy as well with the snipe. They're not messing around with much more here, but it's also coming off the back of the buff banner, and that extra 30% damage is being felt tremendously.
Yeah, buff banner coming in huge, and everyone who's walking towards that car is getting melted in a couple of seconds. Caper and Delt will survive, but only just they'll have to run mostly back to spawn. I actually think Delta's going to go back, but it's going to be a while before Casper is back in the action, back to put the heals up. And Layla's still got a bit of an advantage. It's going to be a scrappy dry fight at the moment. They're just trying to muscle their way onto the cart. Delt's there, Odin's in position. Kazuki's denied a little bit, but has found a smidgen of space. Is actually going to find Warlock as well, but Nebu and Joe both go in. They both get melted down by Odin. Odin gets another one onto Smith. That's a full combo killed by that solo heavy. But I think probably enough delay on the car. It's just 20 seconds left, and the car has to roll all the way from third.
I think there was a short moment where Warlock served the rocket to survive and just surfs it right into Rambo's fist. And was effectively airshot by the engineer's fist. Unfortunate one, but as funny as that might be, looks like it is not going to matter. This is going to be the map, one of potential three. Maybe we'll see when we get there. 2 Feila eSports, Twice, 1 down already here. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, the only one with the last laugh in this match is actually Envision. They did not get points out of SCCK, Twice did. Feila and Twice just cannibalizing each other's playoff chances is making their lives a lot easier. So looking good for Feila after winning the first one here, but they're not out of the woods just yet. Twice took the short break there between rounds, and now it's go time again to see if they can do any better. Let's see if they can... I mean, anything below 6 again would be a really solid push right now on their end as well.
Yeah, I mean, they would have been set, presuming they took last pretty quickly. They would have been set for a decent time either way, but it, you know, it was just the time from Feila was pretty rapid. You know, sometimes on this map you can definitely have fast times. We've certainly seen faster than the time that Feila set, but it often just literally comes down to that last. If you can get that last cleanly in one push, or maybe, you know, just one sack and then one uber advantage push, it can be the difference between a 5-minute time and a 10-minute time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even on second, right? Just like they ran into a wall there for a little bit long, and suddenly it's just like half the time slashed down already. Very early on as well, and you can't let the trust with you, especially now setting the time, right? You just gotta keep your wits about you on this first push, so you don't just get too caught up in everything before it is even close to over on this next round here. Let's see if Twice can step up the game just a little bit and get this with a solid time pushed into the last point. So Feila stands no chance to take this from here.
Oh, we're going to see Joe with a nice little trap on the Delt. On the rock round the corner, wasn't quite expecting that, but, you know, stick is diffused, means that the explosions can't blow anyone else up. The cart is being moved pretty decently here from Caper, looking around, checking to see. He probably knows that Roll-Up was in the backlines, but Roll-Up's actually going to be found. So that's a nice job as well. It means they can move their medic out safely with no threat of the spy, and, you know, just going to completely take over the first point with little contesting at all from Feila.
Alright, bomb by Kazuki tries to get on the medic, can't get enough though, gets blasted just in time. It also just occurred to me that this is a little friendly grudge match situation here as well. A couple of people from Twice last season on Feila, Rambo, Odin, Buko, I think all been on that roster before. It's a little bit of a friendly rivalry thing going on here, I would imagine, where, you know, you want to come into this squad and just show, hey, my new team's gonna beat you guys. This was a worthy change to make, and then this happens in the first round. He's really gonna have the last laugh here. For now, we'll see who has the first laugh. White hopping in immediately. Layla uses a lot later. With the second drone, Uber sounds obviously better, but we'll see if they can actually get the position they want for now. It forces people back, get a kill with the Casper. Sammy with a surprise kill, and just about lives that, but Hondra still goes down.
Oh my god, I was going to praise Nemi for how epic his air blasting was, but Sammy managed to get 2 picks at the back of it either way. A couple of frags traded on both sides, but the...
just on the shack, just shooting down on people, gets drone from up top.
Casper went really, really low and got separated alone in base. He's actually going to walk back in with 30 health, which is a brave play from the American medic, but at the moment he's safe until Honjo jumps in, finds him alone. Delt not quite there in time, and gonna take the medic out. Layla is not quite an Uber yet, and actually scrapping over the car right now.
No, the Schmidt didn't see the soldier in time. Was focused on the car. They went in there so late, it was already looking rough to actually take this thing back. But they made a decision, but if it wasn't for that soldier, they would have been in a good position. Turns out, nope. Kusuki is the one with the last laugh here, after all. Gonna get a really clutch kill onto the medic, and now it's looking completely open game right now. 2 points in 2 minutes is still solid time for Twice. I think even better than last round for sure. Not really having much of a move advantage sucks, but you can make this work. This is a small ad maybe, but you just gotta make a quick one here. Oh no! Scrammus misses the headshot. It's only a 100 damage body shot onto Kessler.
Yeah, Scrimmus sitting on 0 points on this round at the moment, not having much of an impact. Bomb coming in from Honjo is gonna get himself out of there with a nice little jump, but everyone's so weak here on the Feila side. Just the health is certainly bigger on the Twice side. They're sitting on the cart, but Odin is again gonna win that with the brass piece, using that extra damage and get a nice bomb from Honjo. He's gonna find one onto Sammy, but it's not gonna be enough. The rest of the...
That's the force though, actually. Yeah. And that's actually pretty important now, despite not getting quite what we're looking for, not stopping the cart. It's gonna buy them some time on last, and with people just now spawning, they badly need it.
Yeah, they do need it. They've got the gun up. It's only a level 1, but there is a strong combo of players around it. The medic, Pyro, and Demo all around to protect it. Once that gun gets up, it's a much bigger presence on this map, particularly this last point. But Buko's found a nice spot outside. He's gonna get the frag onto Nebu, and oh, he's gonna get the frag onto Layla as well. He goes super wide, finds Layla in the corner. You can't quite hide from the super wide peak, and yeah, now no combo up for Feila. They're gonna desperately try and hold on, but there's so much pressure on Kart.
I was just about to show this snipers even doing anything this round. They both had like 2 or 3 points until last. But now they're popping off. Buko just a tiny bit more though, and that might actually just get them a really good time. Anyone can't save this, but no one's getting past the river. And that's gonna do it. 4:19, not even allowing them to get to the funny number. Cutting them short here with a really strong time.
Yeah, we talked about how the 5-minute time could be beaten, and there you go. There's an example of it. Super fast time. You know, again, nothing spectacular through 1 through 3, pretty fast, but neither seems really would have been plussed either way. But again, a super fast last push. Got themselves a little bit of momentum, and they just took so much space outside for their sniper Buko, and he delivered.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, both snipers not really doing a whole lot until last, but then Buko just gets the one good opening, and sometimes that is all you need. Gets the 2 shots in there, and I mean, already just the 1 on the medic would have been good enough, but got a bonus kill on that as well. There's much less work for everyone else to do. And now they're here. 4:19 is such a strong time on this map. Feila is going to have to perform some miracles to make this work.
Yeah, this would honestly be a moment I've been thinking about maybe crits from Layla. We've seen the Joe crits quite a lot in the past when they've had to pull it out. And, maybe a bit of change of pace, maybe a bit of a surprise, but it looks like she's sticking with Medigun for now.
They've done a lot less in recent times, but it still comes out every once in a while. I mean, sometimes you just gotta try something different, I suppose. Odin gets away with murder there. That's a funny one, not a huge one, I'm afraid. So sniper down is just a bit less worry for everyone involved. And I mean, hey, that one down on Tart is just slowing things down even more. Who can complain about that?
Yeah, while 3 people were occupied with 1 teleporter, Ajay just swoops in, gets the pick onto Joe, which is the bigger pick, and now he's kept himself alive, provided a little bit of information for his team. I mean, they could probably see that there's just 3 people sat on the car at the moment.
Really nice jump though, gets him to the Devilman. It's a good kill to have to worry about the sniper here, but just a coordinated effort between 3 people is gonna get that kill, courtesy of a roll-up. That's the kills you need to clean up this point, but that's just so little time left now.
Yeah, I mean, nice early picks, but they're not even really in the position here for Feila to make the most of it. You'd like them to have been in like 5-10 seconds earlier here. Honjo wants to go and he's going to launch Kazuki in the air, doesn't quite find the air shot onto him. He's going to pressure him back, he's going to have to go get a hold back, but everything else for this twice hold is still set up in position.
Alright, Angel just waiting in corner, hopes for an opportunity to decloak, not going to happen. The damage doesn't stop right there, Sammy's still spamming in, but he's making themselves stay alive just fine. Here comes the actual push now once again from lower, trying to get Joan way deep into the backlines there. BB going down hurts a lot with that attempt, I would imagine, but have the 100 bomb come in anyway, can't do a whole lot. Trying to keep position at the card, get the cap time going as much as they can, but with the Devilman now down, he's gonna do the heavy damage.
The heavy damage is being done by the heavy at the moment. Odin again raiding with the Brass Beast from the high ground. Gets 4 kills, I think, on that little area of the defense, and has cleaned up the car entirely, going to slow down the push. There's really no advantages here for the Feila side, and the clock is ticking down to making this on the edge of possible already.
Yeah, Schweiz bouncing back really nicely this round with a really strong round of their own, of course. Just make this feel this impossible to begin with, and looks like the pressure's getting to Feila here a little bit. Scrim is finally with some big snipe there as they pop in as well. Makes this opening just a bit bigger. One big miss on the pipe by Joan, though. It's going to cost him the demo kill, and Odin can just receive the beam. Granted, can't really chase the Brass Beast anywhere, but I guess anything in his sight is going to take massive damage anyway.
Oh my god, the Pyro launches himself Nebu onto the sentry gun. Will kill the sentry gun somehow solo, but does get found by Odin, who is again sneakily hiding by the cart. I think he got at least one bonus kill there onto Nebu, but eventually the cart will go down. But with 1 minute 30 left, I'm not even sure it's possible right now.
I think it just about is, however, this can't stop ever. This is just got to be ×3 from here, and well, that theoretically might be doable. You got to somehow get past the actual hold there first, because anything stopping this cart right now is just ending the game.
Yeah, and at the moment, just everyone blobbed up in the normal hold spot via this shed lobbed up on the cart from the Feila side. They're trying to walk their way in. Nebby's found a decent amount of space there, pushing back a little bit. Odin is still in position to try and deny, but there's so many players to potentially shoot him. Everyone is playing around the cart. Ajay's in. He does get a pick onto Joe. Nebu gets sniped as well. The cart will get capped. There's 50 seconds left, and actually Twice have to make a decision. Do they win a contest or not? Odin's staying in. He's going to get an extra frag onto the cart, onto Anzu. He might actually find one onto BB. Eventually he does get cleaned up. The cart is still just about moving here for Feila, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. We'll have to see.
They were really passive for a long time. Odin just dying for the cart might actually just be exactly what they needed. Any time at all is just good time right now for Feila. This is a solid effort there. Trap above Joan does get past it as Uber coming in. They're making a push for it. They believe. They want to have faith. Cards rolling slowly in here, but people need to die. Rambo being one of them is certainly a good start. Odin just about gets a flash, keeps himself alive with the help of the medic. Arrows coming in as well. Just barely hanging in there.
10 seconds left. Joe's running in. They've actually got almost a wipe. I'd say it's a full wipe. There's 4 seconds left. It's enough time to cap.
2, 1. It's
they
enough
get it.
somehow.
Oh my god. Holy
I thought
hell.
someone stepping off the cart and not having ×3 on cart there for a second while the last few players were coming in was gonna lose them this. But it just barely works. This is really making you just realize how long 1 second really can be.
Wow.
Oh boy, somehow this works. Full 6 points for Feila. This is gonna be a massive tilter for Twice. Like, you need to think about it this way, right? Literally any single change would have won them this. Any single thing. Whatever you want it to be. Someone diving card earlier, just like one more person blocking the card on third, whatever it is, it would have made the difference. Just, I mean, the fact that they believe as well at that point, right? What you already like calling it quits, like 138 after the second cap, it looks so unlikely, right? Like, what do you need? Just like a bit of a third hold? It doesn't sound so bad, right? But then they just went in there and just did it, just busted through third like it's nothing. And in the end, the only one who felt like they really wanted to keep fighting was Odin, and no one else had faith in that third hold at all. And it looked like they just gambled on the wrong thing there in the end. They went, yeah, okay, we'll just hold last instead. We have so much time, and then this happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the wise choice to go back, make sure you have your combo up, make sure you have the Uber up, but they ended up just missing that key thing, which is if you're going to take that defensive red Uber in, you've got to go and just block the cart with it, and they were pressured too far back. They ended up, Ubering on Feila's terms, and yeah, just a little bit mixed messages. But that's the crucial thing at the top level of Highlander. It only takes a split second, someone just a slightly different mindset to another player on the team. You can calm as much as you like, but people aren't telepathically linked. So just a slight miscommunication, slight error,
and this has
judgment
such
could
big
make a difference
repercussions as well. That could have been like a 4-point swing back to the other side with Twice just barely winning that one potentially. Just having a competent one after that would have done it, and that would have made just the whole table situation so different. But suddenly Feila, despite some of the roster struggles, had to change Spy, had to change Scout, had to change Heavy, all like within a week or so. And, they just settled with it, just went through the troubles, came out stronger by the looks of it, and oh boy, this is a team that believes still.
So look out for that. If you do want to find out when the KritzKast games are going to be, make sure you're following the channel here on Twitch. Subscribe if you want to support the casters and production team as well. You can also join the Discord to find more information. Make sure you're checking match pages as well. And we will have more games for you soon. But otherwise, I've been Dave, joined by DuMmTm and Wiethoofd behind the camera. Good night.